you've done this a long time, minicamp, been through a bunch of them. Obviously a different crew. When you go through a practice like this where maybe like trying to get on the same page, drops, misses, how frustrating is that as you're trying to put this all together at this stage?
Oh, it's not frustrating at all. You know, it's a long time until we gotta put on the uniform and play a game. It's mandatory minicamp. You know, I'm glad guys are here. We're working hard. Guys are making plays, offense and defense, both sides. So we're just having fun out here playing and flying around, trying to get on the same page. Obviously, some new concepts that we got in that it's good to put that on tape and talk through it right now. But yeah, no frustrations at all. We're playing football.
You usually take right through training camp to be able to build that chemistry, so to speak, with maybe new receivers. Will that take maybe all the way through camp to get where you guys want to be?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it clicks right away. For some guys it could take a season, it could take 3 seasons, you know, and obviously the faster that we can expedite that process, the better. And getting together right now, obviously, throughout OTAs, making sure that we're gonna meet during the summer break that we have here, and then into training camp, just make sure that we're talking and have an open line of communication with routes and concepts, what I see, what they see, what they feel. And just trying to listen and just try to improve every day.
Josh, was there any aspect of your game this offseason that you really focused on wanting to improve, maybe earlier in the offseason and now into this 5 or 6 week break before training camp starts?
Yeah, big time on just mechanically getting it as efficient as possible. You know, meeting with Chris Hess, who's been here, he owns Biometric, just digitally mapping our throwing motions right now and just seeing what we can tighten up on and improve on, and just having that in the back of our mind. So when we're doing our individual work, when we're inside the building, making sure that we're doing everything we need to do, and I need to do to be as clean as possible. You know, if you can deliver the ball as consistently as possible, you know, it takes less to think about, and you could focus more on, you know, what the defense is presenting. So yeah, just trying to be as efficient as possible with my throwing motion right now.
Did you notice a difference maybe here in the spring? And is that something that you want to continue to build on going to camp?
Yeah, it's definitely, I wouldn't call it a complete overhaul of my throwing motion, but definitely some things to work on and clean up, especially, you know, getting long with my arm and a little bit with my stride. So just trying to clean that up, and anytime you go through something like that, sometimes it's going to feel really good. Sometimes it's not going to feel really good. It's just like, you know, changing a swing in golf, you know, and as long as you're trusting it and you keep working on it each and every day, results will come.
Is this something that you picked up on at the end of last year? Because there was a time at the end of last year you started talking about your mechanics a little bit more when you got in a little groove. Is that something that you're kind of carrying over from what you picked up on last year?
For sure. And I think that, you know, there's inefficiencies that every quarterback can find. You know, you show me the perfect throw, or I'll tell you something wrong with them probably. So just making sure that I'm checking the dots and you know, crossing the T's and dotting the I's there. And going back to last year, obviously a couple little tweaks, whether it was in the shoulder, the elbow, whatever it was, it changes how you throw it just a little bit because your body's shielding itself from pain. So making sure that I'm just kind of getting back to how I'm supposed to throw and what my body is capable of doing. And sometimes it takes a little longer, sometimes it doesn't. So again, just trusting what the data's saying right now and just trying to feel it above all else.
As you refine yourself, as you refine your throwing motion and have continued to refine it, do you ever look back at Wyoming tape or high school? You're smiling.
Yeah.
I mean, how much? How do you, when you look back, do you laugh at it or do you?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's completely. I mean, it's night and day in terms of the type of thrower I am, and you know, where I held the ball, where I released the ball. It looks like a different guy, and sometimes it'll pop up. Like when I click on YouTube, I'll see like a video. I'm like, who's that throwing the ball? And it's me, and it's like it's kind of gross to look at sometimes, but. I don't think it's as gross anymore.
You've seen from to deal with the pressure going in from year 1 to now year 7. How have you dealt with that pressure? And is there any pressure on you seeking that certain level of greatness this year?
I mean, I hold myself to a very high standard. I put a lot of pressure on myself, more so than what anybody else can put on me. I've said the nicest things about myself to me. I've said the meanest things about myself to me. I just kind of feel like I stay in that type of mindset where it doesn't matter what anybody else says, but I do put a lot of pressure on myself, and I think going through the last 6 years and just making sure that I have teammates and coaching staff to rely on and talk to when things get a little heavy, and making sure Dr. Des talked about some mindset stuff today in our team meeting, which was a good reminder. Sometimes it doesn't matter who you are, you got to make sure that your mentals are right, and just got to keep working on that as much as the physical part of it too.
Josh, seeing from, I know it's a really good April. I don't think we've talked to you since he came aboard. What do you see? Where can he fit? What are you looking at there?
Yeah, he's a big body. He can run very fast. He's been making some plays downfield for us. He seems like he's very bought in to the system right now, and vibing with the guys, and being in his position and what he's done throughout his career, some pretty high highs and some pretty low lows, and I think that he's got the right mindset right now. He's coming out, he's working extremely hard. Guys understand that, guys see that, and I feel like he's doing the little things right now. So I couldn't tell you where I see him fitting in. That's not my job, but in terms of seeing him as a receiver, as a quarterback, he's been very easy to throw to, and he's been making some plays for our guys downfield.
When you talk about the throwing motion, was there, to make that commitment, you compared it to the golf swing? Because if you're going to change your golf swing, that's kind of a commitment, right? What was that process like? Was it a long-term thing that you had been thinking about, or it was in
terms of like from college or for right now?
Recently making some changes? Because that's a commitment to change the way you throw the ball.
And I wouldn't say this time I'm changing. I'm just kind of refining or tweaking, and just trying to make better. And I think that, again, what happened last year and some pain, discomfort, whatever you want to call it, just kind of changed how I was releasing and delivering the ball. And, that's what the video showed. That's what I was feeling. You could kind of see it on tape. I was getting pretty low and wide with the ball. So just getting back to some drills and some work that we do, before we get into practice stuff, that it's just subtle reminders of where to hold the ball, how to turn, and where to release it. And again, that's something that I'll be working on this next month that we have off, and just trying to go into training camp ramping up the right way.